Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about one of my favorite projects and also a project that recently got listed on Coinbase. And this project is called Avalanche or the AVAX token, right? Again, as always guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research by checking out the website of any of the projects that we cover on our channel. And for this project, I recommend you guys to go to the website avax.network in order to learn more about this project, right? So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to rely on the information presented on CoinMarketCap's page for Avalanche. But if you want to do your deep, in-depth research, I suggest you to do so before you put any of your money on your token, right? So what is Avalanche? Avalanche is a layer 1 blockchain that functions as a platform for decentralized applications and custom blockchain networks. It is one of Ethereum's rivals, aiming to unseat Ethereum as the most popular blockchain for smart contracts. It aims to do so by having a higher transaction output of up to 6,500 transactions per second while not compromising scalability. So again, right off the bat, if you guys aren't already familiar with Avalanche, it is a layer 1 blockchain that focuses on allowing decentralized applications to be built on top of it in a manner similar to Ethereum. But the main difference between Avalanche and Ethereum is that Avalanche can process up to 6,500 transactions per second at the time of making this video, and Ethereum can only do a few transactions per second. And that's one of the main reasons why Ethereum is currently having a highly scalable issue. But this is only for Ethereum 1.0 and not 2.0, right? And another thing is that most people always talk about Avalanche being a rival to Ethereum, but I believe that that's not the case. I believe that Ethereum and Avalanche and several other blockchain projects can exist in a kind of in a simultaneous manner in the current crypto space, because there are evidence to show that other projects such as Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and Phantom Network, and so on and so forth, are continuing to be adopted by the users despite of using Ethereum as well, right? So they're not seeing Ethereum as a kind of like a failed project that can be rivaled by multiple other projects. Users are seeing Ethereum as a obviously it's currently burdened by high transaction fees and low transaction speeds, but they don't see it as a opportunity to completely abandon Ethereum and choose a rival project, right? But I understand that when this particular statement was written, they were comparing and contrasting Ethereum with Avalanche, and therefore I totally understand this point. But if you also see that this is made possible by Avalanche's unique architecture, the Avalanche network consists of 3 individual blockchains: the X chain, C chain, and P chain. Each chain has a distinct purpose, which is radically different from the approach Bitcoin and Ethereum use, namely having all nodes validate all transactions. Avalanche blockchains even use different consensus mechanisms based on their use cases. Again, when it comes to architecture, our Avalanche has a very unique architecture, because unlike several other blockchains, Avalanche is a combination of 3 separate chains called the X chain, C chain, and P chain. And each chain is designed to perform a distinct function, which is completely different from how popular blockchains such as Ethereum and Bitcoin and even other smart contract platforms work in general, right? So that's one of the main unique features of Avalanche. It has 3 important kind of blockchains, making this one huge blockchain called the Avalanche network, right? And each and every single chain can use a different consensus mechanism, and that's another unique feature of Avalanche which many projects don't really have, right? So that's obviously how it tries to achieve the extremely high transaction throughputs while also being scalable and decentralized as well, right? After its mainnet launch in 2020, Avalanche has worked on developing its own ecosystem of dApps and DeFi. Different Ethereum-based projects such as SushiSwap and TrueUSD have integrated with Avalanche. Furthermore, the platform is consistently working on improving interoperability between its own ecosystem and Ethereum, like through the developments of bridges. Again, the mainnet of Avalanche was launched in 2020, and since then the project has been doing phenomenally well. as an asset itself, the AVAX token has done multiple X's since last year, but as a project, Avalanche has kind of like been used as an option to migrate several dApps to Avalanche from Ethereum. Some of the projects that have migrated are SushiSwap. Again, SushiSwap has pretty much been a multi kind of like chain dApp, and it's available in pretty much all the major chains that we know of. And TrueUSD, which is also a relatively less popular stablecoin project, but it's still a project that we need to discuss about because it is a project that has kind of like a decent amount of market cap locked into it. And its TrueUSD token is a stable coin that's being used for multiple transactions as well, right? So both of these huge projects have ported themselves to Avalanche's network, and also Avalanche is constantly working on making partnerships with multiple dApps and trying to bring them from several other chains, not just from Ethereum, right? And it is also trying to actively work to build bridges. Again, currently we have multiple bridges that can be used in order to port tokens and even Ethereum itself from Ethereum to Avalanche, right? So that's basically the overview of the project itself. So who are the main founders of Avalanche? Avalanche was founded by Ava Labs, founded by Cornell University professor Emin Gunserer, and Cornell University computer science PhDs Kevin, I'm not going to pronounce the second name, and Mofan Ted Yin. Gunserer is a veteran in cryptographic research, having designed a conceptual peer-to-peer virtual currency 6 years before the release of the Bitcoin white paper. He was also involved in work on Bitcoin scaling solutions and research on Ethereum before the infamous DAO hack in 2016. So, Avalanche's founder, Emin Gunserer, has been a popular figure in the crypto space in the recent times. He is again a part of the labs called Avalanche, which is basically running and kind of like making upgrades to the Avalanche ecosystem based on user participation. And it was basically founded by Emin Gunserer, who is a Cornell University professor, along with computer science PhD personnel Kevin S and Mofan. So these are the people who were mainly involved in building Avalanche. And the background of Emin is basically very unique because he actually started working on a peer-to-peer digital currency 6 years before the release of Bitcoin's white paper. So he was again and is kind of like theorized by many people to be Satoshi Nakamoto himself, but again that information cannot be proven or disproven, right? But he has worked on the Bitcoin project for several years to try to scale it, and also try to scale Ethereum before working on Avalabs. And this happened till the DAO hack in 2016, which was the infamous DAO hack that led to the creation of Ethereum Classic from Ethereum, right? So as you can see, the professor Emin Gunserer, who is also the founder of Avalanche, has a lot of background and knowledge about cryptography and has academic background that makes him one of the best candidates to develop a project that has the best of Bitcoin as well as Ethereum in a highly scalable environment, which makes Avalanche a very unique project, right? From that research arose the white paper that led to the foundation of Avalabs in 2018. The project closed a seed round in February 2019 that included investors such as Polychain, Anderson Horowitz, and Balaji Srinivasan. Avalanche closed its initial coin offering in 2020 in under 24 hours, raising $42 million in the process. Again, this also talks about a bit more history about Avalanche. So some of the information that we discussed right now about the DAO hack and his work with the Bitcoin scalability solution together created the white paper that makes Avalanche possible today, along with the Ava Labs that also commissioned Avalanche in 2018. The project also closed a seed round in February 2019, which involved investors such as Polychain Capital, Anderson Horowitz and Balaji Srinivasan, who is the former CTO of Coinbase. So you do, you can clearly see that there's a lot of, big players investing in, who have invested in this project a long time back, which is about 2019, early 2019. And they also closed their initial coin offering in 2020 with about $42 million being raised, and the tokens were sold less than 24 hours. So again, that shows people are being, kind of like expecting this project for quite some time, and the initial coin offering shows the eagerness that people had in order to purchase this coin, despite being a very early project that was, plausibly going to fail because of the high competition. So that's basically what people were discussing back when Avalanche initially launched, but Avalanche has broken all odds and has become a successful project right now, right? What makes Avalanche unique? So again, this is a project that has caught several people's attention. But why should someone invest in this project? Because there's a lot of projects that are coming in on a daily basis that aims to do pretty much the same thing that Avalanche or other blockchain projects that are doing, that is to try to scale in such a way that they compete against Ethereum, right? So why would you want to invest in Avalanche? Avalanche attempts to solve the blockchain trilemma, which posits the blockchains cannot achieve a sufficient degree of decentralization at scale. The consequence of this are high gas fees, as it is often the case on Ethereum. So again, one of the main reasons why you need to look into Avalanche as an investment opportunity is the fact that it is a project that tries to solve the famous blockchain trilemma, which is, if you see the blockchain trilemma, it consists of a triangle of decentralization, scalability, as well as high throughput, right? So if you have two of those things, you have to sacrifice the third one. So that's how traditionally it has worked, because it's a very important problem that everyone in the crypto space is trying to solve, and Avalanche is taking a very unique approach to solve this, and it has kind of successfully partially solved it, in my opinion. And that's one of the reasons why Avalanche is popular right now, and many people are trying to buy the AVAX token as an investment opportunity, because they feel like Avalanche has kind of conquered this blockchain trilemma that several minds, including Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin, have been trying to solve for a very long time, right? To solve this problem, Avalanche designed 3 interoperable blockchains. Again, as we discussed, before, unlike Ethereum or several other blockchain projects, Avalanche doesn't consist of one blockchain. It consists of 3 important chains: the X chain, C chain, and P chain. The X chain is employed to create and exchange the native AVAX tokens and other assets. Similar to the ERC20 standard on Ethereum, these tokens follow a set of standardized rules. It uses the Avalanche consensus mechanisms. Again, the X chain is a chain where you can simply create and exchange native AVAX tokens, which follow a specific criteria, and which have their own consensus mechanism, right? Which is the Avalanche consensus mechanism that is governing the X chain's capability, right? So the C chain, on the other hand, hosts smart contracts and decentralized applications. It has its own Avalanche virtual machine, similar to the Ethereum virtual machine, allowing developers to fork EVM compatible dApps. It uses the snowman consensus mechanisms. Again, the C chain is basically where the interesting smart contract functionality and decentralized application building happens, right? And it has its own AVM, or the Avalanche virtual machine, similar to EVM, that allows for Ethereum-based dApps to be forked to Avalanche. And by the way, C chain is fully EVM compatible, and that's one of the reasons why dApps such as SushiSwap and TrueUSD, that were initially like Ethereum projects, were able to migrate to the Avalanche blockchain, right? The P chain, or the platform chain, basically coordinates network validators, tracks active subsets, and enables the creation of new subnets. Subnets are sets of validators, sort of like a validator cartel. Each subnet can be validating several blockchains, but a blockchain can only be validated by one subnet. It also uses the snowman consensus mechanisms. Again, one thing that I forgot to mention, the C chain, is that it uses a consensus mechanism that is different from X chain, which is snowman consensus mechanism. So basically, each and every chain that we've discussed so far has its own kind of like functionality which together make the Avalanche blockchain, right? Going to the P chain, it is used as a place where validation, network validation can happen, and they have concepts called subnets, which you can read deep into, but those are a set of validators that kind of act like a group or a cartel of validators, right? And they also use the snowman consensus mechanism. So together these three chains kind of partially solve the problem. It doesn't necessarily fully solve the problem, because the overall point of view from Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin was a blockchain, a single blockchain always has its own unique blockchain trilemma, right? But Avalanche tries to kind of like take a shortcut by calling itself as the blockchain, but in fact it's actually three independent blockchains that perform a very specific function. None of the blockchains, the individual chains that are within the Avalanche ecosystem perform multiple functionality. They're all, as you can see, perform a very specialized functionality, and that's what makes Avalanche overcome this technical problem. So Avalanche is kind of taking a very smart shortcut to address this problem, as opposed to other blockchains trying to do all the things at once. So again, you guys can go through the other information in detail here. It talks about competing tasks and high throughput. Overall, Avalanche is a interoperable platform and focuses on high throughput efficiency, and can be scalable even further. So those three concepts make Avalanche a very strong candidate in the future to be one of the leading blockchains in the crypto space, because of its ability to be adaptable and can easily port Ethereum based dApps on top of it, right? It is a little bit of a kind of like a challenge for Avalanche, because there's a lot more next generation blockchains that are coming in that can try to solve the blockchain trilemma in a very efficient and straightforward manner, which Avalanche has not been doing. But I do believe that Avalanche still has a very high possibility of becoming a project that can be a long-term successful project in the future, right? And that's one of the other reasons why you need to look into Avalanche. So those are some of the main points. Again, when it comes to security, how secure is Avalanche? Avalanche, or the AVAX token, is traded on the exchange chain, which follows its own Avalanche consensus mechanism. Unlike proof of work or proof of stake, the Avalanche consensus mechanism does not have one leader processing transactions that get validated by others. Instead, all nodes process and validate transactions by empowering a directed acyclic graph or DAG protocol. That way, transactions are processed simultaneously, and validators' random polling ensures that transactions are correct with statistical certainty. There are no blocks in the consensus mechanism, allowing immediate finalization and significant improvement in the blockchain speed. So again, Avalanche uses its own Avalanche consensus mechanism, or AVM, which is completely different from proof of stake or proof of work. So what they do is, instead of allowing for one validator to process transactions, they allow all validators to do transactions simultaneously, and this uses DAG, or the directed acyclic graph protocol, in order to make it happen, right? Again, I'm not going to touch into the details of this, but to be short, it is a very secure network, because it tries to do something that's not been done before, which is, again, traditionally we have proof of work and proof of stake and multiple types of proof of stakes, but Avalanche is trying to do something much different, thereby making it much more secure, relatively more secure than multiple other blockchains, right? And this is all happening without sacrificing scalability and transaction speeds. So overall, that's the overview of Avalanche. I just want to quickly go through the website, and again, it's a pretty cool website. I suggest you guys to go through in depth about each and every single information about Avalanche. It's a very interesting project that you guys need to understand. It's taking a very smart shortcut in order to achieve the blockchain trilemma question, right? So blazingly fast, low cost, and eco-friendly. So you can clearly join their Discord by clicking on the join Discord button, and you can easily build dApps, and you can learn information by clicking on the build now button. So this is kind of like a pictorial overview of how Avalanche works. It's kind of like using multiple different chains to make the dApps as well as the tokens function in a smart contract decentralized environment, right? So it's one of the fastest smart contract platforms, which we are fully aware of. What's possible with Avalanche, and here they're talking about what are possible with Avalanche. Again, it's a dApp building kind of like platform that allows for super fast dApps to be built on top of it with low cost and Solidity compatible dApps. So you can easily port Solidity based dApps onto Avalanche without any significant hassle. Launch is customized, and you can participate. You can kind of create a public and private solutions within the blockchain. Scale to millions of validators with minimal hardware. Again, that's also true. So those are some of the main key offering points of Avalanche, which is very short, concise, and unique, right? Built for decentralized applications. Again, pretty straightforward explanation. And they're going to the news section where you can read through what every popular news media outlet is talking about this project. Who's building on Avalanche? So this is the list of projects that are already building or have built on top of Avalanche. You can clearly see that these are all projects that are popular DeFi dApps on top of Ethereum that are trying to migrate to Avalanche or that have already migrated to Avalanche. Comparing to other blockchains, so you can clearly go through the information here to see how Avalanche is significantly better, not only with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also compared to Polkadot as well, right? And here are some of the stats that they're showing. So you guys can go through deep into that. Build Solidity dApps without limits. So again, here they're providing some information to developers to help port Solidity dApps on Ethereum to Avalanche. Solutions powered by Avalanche. So you can clearly see all the solutions here by clicking on the See All Solutions list. But overall, they already have some successful DEXs and dApps, which is Pangolin, which is the Uniswap of Avalanche, and BZX is also a popular dApp that migrated from Ethereum to Avalanche. Institutions, enterprises, and governments. So they're trying to attract a lot of institutions and government, adoption to their project, and which is a very good thing. So here you can see Congress of Quintana Roo. I believe it's a party in, I think, Mexico. I believe, I'm not really sure, but that is kind of like a very interesting thing to know, that Congress of Quintana Roo has some form of an interest or adoption interest on Avalanche. And Rival is another kind of, I believe, a company that is also interested in investing in Avalanche. So apart from all the DeFi stuff that you can do on Avalanche, you can also participate in the NFT and digital collectibles within the Avalanche ecosystem. And some of the projects that are already available on Avalanche are Polyent Games and Tops. So these are some of the gamification / NFT projects that are available in Avalanche, right? So you can click through View All Solutions to see some of the other projects or other solutions that they've enabled to happen with their platform, as well as if you are a developer who wants to port your project from Ethereum to Avalanche, you can apply for a grant and they support that. And if you want to start building a new dApp from scratch, you can also do that with their grant as well, right? They're allowing you to create a wallet, an Avalanche wallet that you can use to interact, or you can use MetaMask itself. You can also check the Explorer to see how it looks like and their roadmap along with the token info itself. You can also become a part of the community and learn more of this project by going through their social media information, right? So overall, that's pretty much it for the website. It's a pretty short and simple website with a lot of information packed in a easily digestible manner. I highly recommend everyone to do some in-depth research before they invest in this project, right? So going back to the CoinMarketCap page for Avalanche, this token is currently ranked 13th by market cap on CoinMarketCap, and it's currently trading at $67.96 at the time I'm making this video, with a 1.80% increase. Again, this is after the Coinbase listing. I think Coinbase listing hasn't really significantly done anything new to Avalanche, because Avalanche's price was already pumping like crazy, and Avalanche's listing on Coinbase is only kind of like keeping the trajectory going, right? If you take the market cap, it's already $14.9 million in market cap. Again, people may think that this is a huge market cap that's overvalued, or they may think that they missed the boat or something. But I feel like this token is a project that can easily reach $100 to $150 billion in market cap pretty soon, and I think it's only going to be a matter of time before adoption gets really serious. Again, it's already getting serious right now, but if adoption kind of like gets extremely serious, the Avalanche market cap can easily touch the $100 billion in market cap, right? So that's pretty easy. So based on that, I believe that the token market cap is quite undervalued, right? So when it comes to max supply, the token has a max supply of 720 million tokens. Again, being a blockchain project, I do agree that the max supply being above like 100 to 500 million tokens is something that's expected, because they need to provide incentives for people who stake the token to secure the network. And I think Avalanche has done pretty well despite the kind of like high token supply. And I believe that as more and more people start staking Avalanche, the total tokens that are in circulation will only continue to diminish, which will also cause significant price appreciation for Avalanche, right? And its current circulating supply is 31% of the total or max supply of the tokens, which is again 220.2 million tokens, right? So again, there are a lot of tokens that are in circulation which are also staked in the Avalanche network in order to get rewards. So I do believe that this number could even be lower, and as more and more people start staking Avalanche tokens and the exchange token value gets drained, the token price can only go up, right? So again, that's a pretty good bullish scenario. So if you take a look at the charts, you can clearly see that this token has been pumping like crazy in the recent times, and especially if you see the price multiple X's that is made since its beginning last year. It was initially worth like $4.11 on 22nd of September last year, and from then it's kind of like multiple X'd, not only this time but also multiple times in the past as well. So the price was pretty flat initially with not a lot of adoption, and in fact the all-time lows was about $2.91. That was about like mid December last year. So if you had managed to grab a huge bag of this token, you are pretty much sitting in a huge gains right now, right? But after December, the token immediately started pumping right off the bat. It reached an all-time highs easily of about $55 per token. This was on the 9th of February this year, and the token immediately crashed, making a relatively lows of about, I believe, somewhere between like $23 to $22 in that range, and this was about 22nd of April, and the token kind of was crashing even further, reaching a relatively lows of $9.65 in July of 18th to be specific, as per coin market cap. And if people manage to buy this token at this price point, they are probably laughing right now, because the token price easily crossed its previous all-time highs to make a new all-time highs of about I believe 76, or even in some exchanges it was $80 per token, right? But now it's kind of cooled down a bit, but you can clearly see that this token is ready to pump again. So it is kind of like moving in the upward trajectory with a not as sharp as peak as we've seen before. That's because as the market cap of this token becomes bigger, it takes a lot of capital to push the price of this token upwards, right? And therefore these kind of like sharp peaks are no longer going to be as frequent as we thought, because this token is getting mainstream adoption. As more and more people are buying and staking this token is only going to make smooth peaks as well as smooth dumps. It won't be as drastic as these kind of like peaks and dumps, right? But I believe that if you are planning to buy this token at this price point, I'd probably suggest you to wait till the token price goes below the $55 to $58 dollar mark, which would be a good buy opportunity. Because even though the Coinbase listing hasn't really done a lot when it comes to price appreciation for this token, the token is kind of like quite hot right now and is easily close to the previous all-time highs. If you look to hold this token for long term, a price below the $55 mark would be a really good opportunity to enter into this token and hodl this for at least 2 to 5 years. So that will be a good time for this token to kind of like mature and grow, and also port in a lot of dApps, right? So I think if you're looking to buy this token right now, I'd suggest you to not do so. But if you want to buy this token somewhere between $55 to $58, that will be a really good price point to enter, right? If you take the Bitcoin compared to the other hand, it has a pretty similar pattern, and it has been kind of like pumping like crazy in the Bitcoin competitor as well. So initially the token was worth about 40,000 satoshis per token last year on September, but the token reached an all-time lows of about 11,000 satoshis per token. This was in the first of I think during the first week of this year, the beginning of this year, and then since then the token reached an all-time highs of about kind of like close to 65,000 satoshis per token before coming back down, consistently reaching a price point of 34,000 satoshis per token, which was on August this year. And then if you were lucky to buy this token with some bitcoins this August, you are probably sitting at a significant gain right now, because the current token price is around 140,000 satoshis per token, but its actual all-time highs was 169,000 or 170,000 satoshis per token, right? Which is a really good gain for people who bought this token in August, right? If you are looking to buy this token with some bitcoins, I would suggest you to wait till this token breaks below the kind of like 120 to 130,000 satoshis per mark, because it can easily reverse at any time right now. And once it breaks below the 120,000 satoshis mark, that will be a good buy opportunity with Bitcoin competitor, right? So both the dollar competitor and Bitcoin competitor, you need to be extremely cautious at this price point, because the price can easily reverse and thereby giving you a temporary loss. But if you're looking to buy this token for long term, then again you can dollar cost average in at any price point and you would still make a significant gain, right? That's my long-term thesis, because I am a long-term hodler of this token. If you take the markets, I think this token has a lot of liquidity, especially in Binance, Huobi Global and KuCoin. But with the addition of Coinbase, the liquidity for this token is pretty much secure, right? I think this token will get listed in multiple other exchanges moving forward as well. It's also available on OKX and Crypto.com. But I think this is going to be a very go-to kind of like token for many people in the future, because it's a new generation token that a lot of people are starting to hear about, with the ample amount of liquidity provided by Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin and several other exchanges. I think this token is going to be easily accessible. That's going to only drive adoption of this token, right? So what's my final verdict on this token, guys? I think this token can easily reach $150 per token by the end of this bull run, and in the long term it can easily reach somewhere between $300 to $500 per token, which is again 5 years from now. So don't expect that to happen anytime soon. If you're lucky, it can happen within like 3 years, but again, I'm conservative and I believe that this token can reach $500, close to $500 at least, by the 5-year mark, which is a really good gain from this price point. But if you are not patient, if you want to hodl this only till the end of this bull run, you can basically expect this token to go up to $150 per token, which will still kind of like technically double your token, double your value of when you hold this in Bitcoin or dollar competitive, right? So again, that's just my verdict, guys. Again, remember, guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please click the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.